What if I told you that the biggest lie you're living with isn't out there? It's inside your own head. Sorry if this video makes you cry, but some truths need to pierce you deep, because that's the only way they can wake you up. There are things we've always known, hidden somewhere deep inside us. Yet we choose to ignore them like children covering their ears during a storm. We walk through life as if time is infinite, as if tomorrow is some guaranteed ticket waiting patiently for us on the nightstand. But here's the brutal reality. It's not. Every single day that slips through your fingers is a day you will never, ever get back. Once it's gone forever. No rewinds, no do-overs, no extra credits. What I'm about to share might make you squirm in your seat. It might make you want to shut this video off and look away. But you can't, because you need to hear it. If you don't face these truths now, one day you might look back and feel that silent, soul-punching regret that's heavier than any pain you've ever felt. The 7 truths you're about to confront aren't just pretty words on a poster or shallow motivational quotes. These are raw, bone-deep lessons drawn straight from Stoicism, a way of life designed to help us stand tall in the face of reality, no matter how harsh or heartbreaking it might be. I didn't learn these truths from books alone. I learned them through loss, through failure, through nights when I didn't think I'd make it to the next sunrise. And I don't want you to have to walk through that same darkness just to see the light. So I'm asking you now, take a breath. Set aside whatever else you're doing. Put down your phone, silence the noise in your mind, and truly listen. The next few minutes you spend here might just become some of the most important moments of your entire life. Let's begin. Number 1. We always procrastinate, and in doing so, we miss out on life itself. Have you ever whispered to yourself, "I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll hit the gym. Tomorrow you'll learn that new skill. Tomorrow you'll finally start writing that book. Chase that dream. Tell that person how you really feel." But then tomorrow stretches into next week, then next month, and before you know it, years have slipped by like smoke through your fingers. You look back and realize you didn't just postpone a few tasks. You postponed your entire life. We always believe we have plenty of time. We cling to that comforting illusion like a warm blanket. But it's a lie, a dangerous one. Marcus Aurelius, a man who commanded armies and faced endless storms, reminded us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Why do we procrastinate? Because we're afraid. Afraid of failing. Afraid of what people might say. Afraid we're not good enough. Not ready enough. Not strong enough. But the truth, no one ever truly feels ready. Do you really think the people you admire, the ones who built empires, wrote books, started movements, waited until they were overflowing with confidence? No, they started when they were still shaking inside. They took that first step even while hearing the echo of their own doubts. Look at anyone who's living the life you crave. Are they really that much more talented? Maybe. But talent isn't the real separator. The real difference. They didn't wait. They didn't wait for the perfect timing. They didn't wait for the fear to magically vanish. They acted anyway. How much time do you think you have left? A decade? 50 years? A lifetime? You don't know. None of us do. And that's exactly why you can't afford to put your life on hold, waiting for some mythical right moment. Seneca warned us with haunting clarity. While we wait for life, life pauses. Life isn't a rough draft you can scribble and erase. You get one shot. One precious, unrepeatable shot. Will you dare to live it fully? Or will you let fear hold the pen and write a story of delays, excuses, and half-finished dreams? And here's a truth even sharper than fear. It's not just the fear of failing that holds you back. It's your obsession with perfection. You tell yourself you'll start when you're good enough, strong enough, perfect enough. You imagine some mythical day when every piece falls into place, and you become the flawless version of yourself. But perfection, it doesn't exist. It's a clever, seductive trap your mind sets to keep you stuck exactly where you are. So, what are you really waiting for? Waiting for a perfect moment. Let me tell you the hard truth. It will never come. There is no flawless tomorrow waiting for you with open arms. No ideal, upgraded future version of yourself magically appearing when the stars finally align. There is only right now, the single, fragile moment you truly own. If you don't start now, you probably never will. Picture this. One day, you're old, sitting alone in a creaky, worn-out chair, staring at the ceiling, replaying your life like a faded film reel. What will you see? A long list of dreams you whispered about but never dared to chase? A collection of days lost to hesitation, excuses, and self-doubt? A life that slipped through your hands because you were waiting to become perfect first? Or do you want to look back and feel the quiet, unstoppable pride of someone who actually lived? Someone who dared to try, dared to fail, dared to burn with passion so fiercely that there was no room left for regret. Maybe you tell yourself, I'll do everything when I have more time. When things get easier, when life finally calms down. But hear this, there will never be a better time than right now. There is no golden window waiting for you around the next corner. You're not just delaying some to-do list items. You're delaying your entire life. If you've been silently begging for a sign to start, this is it. There will never be a better time to become the person you want to be than this exact breath. Don't wait until you're brave enough, perfect enough, or ready enough. Because that moment, it doesn't exist. It's a fantasy your fear feeds you to keep you frozen only by taking messy, imperfect, terrified action will you truly begin to live. You can't control the future. You don't get to rewrite the past, but you can control the choice you make. In this very moment, you can choose to keep waiting, to keep scrolling, to keep telling yourself someday. Or you can choose to act, to move, to leap, even if you're shaking, even if it's not flawless. Because if you don't do it now, there's a real chance you'll never do it at all. Time doesn't hand out second chances. It doesn't rewind. If you don't seize it now, you may never get to feel what it means to be fully alive. Number 2. We misjudge what truly matters. You think you're living, but in reality, you're merely existing. Every morning, you wake up and jump headfirst into work. You chase money. You crave recognition. You hunt after the standards society has carved into your brain since you were a kid. You tell yourself that if you achieve more money, more trophies, more applause, you'll finally feel whole. You'll finally breathe easy, right? But when the night comes and the noise dies down, when the lights turn off and your soul sits alone in the dark, what do you really feel? Emptiness. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, where am I rushing to? What am I really trying to prove? And to whom? We must judge what truly matters because we're hypnotized by illusions. Society shouts in our ear, be successful, have more, become someone so people will love you. And we believe it, swallowing it whole without a second thought. We fling ourselves into an endless race, sprinting toward an invisible finish line we never even questioned. But who set that finish line? When does enough actually arrive? And if it never does, are we not just running in circles, living a life that's quietly, tragically meaningless? Look at those lying in hospital beds, knowing their time is measured in days, maybe even hours. Do you think they're haunted by the thought, I wish I made more money, or I wish I had a bigger title? No, they grieve the moments they didn't spend with those they loved, the adventures they didn't take, the dreams they locked away out of fear, the life they didn't have the courage to live fully. Seneca warned us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. We do not lack time, we squander it. How many hours a day do you lose scrolling through your phone, measuring your worth against strangers, worrying about insignificant details? Have you ever stopped mid-scroll and asked yourself, what exactly am I doing this for? Do you really think being richer, more famous, or more admired will finally make you happy? Look at the people who already have it all. Do they seem truly free, truly at peace? Or are they still drowning in anxiety, in fear, in the quiet terror of knowing that no matter how much they have, it never feels like enough? Have you ever truly stopped and asked yourself, am I betting my entire life on an illusion that can never be real? Imagine for a moment that tomorrow you vanish. You no longer exist. Would all the things you're chasing right now, the money, the promotions, the status updates, the shallow praise, still matter in that final breath? If the answer is no, then why are you letting them control your life today? Epictetus didn't mince words when he said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. You don't become truly rich by hoarding more. You become rich by needing less. So, what actually matters? It's those quiet, unguarded moments you've been too busy to notice. A deep, heartfelt conversation that softens your spirit. An afternoon walk with someone you love. Feeling the sun on your face and hearing your own heartbeat. That fleeting instant when you finally dared to show your real self, raw and unfiltered, without fearing who might judge. These things aren't loud. They don't glitter on social media. But when the walls of your life start to crumble, they're the only things left standing. The problem isn't that you don't know what truly matters. You do. Deep down, you've always known. The real problem is that you keep choosing not to see it. You ignore those precious, irreplaceable moments, trading them for cheap, dopamine hit distractions. You exchange your peace of mind for the fleeting approval of people who wouldn't even notice. If you disappeared tomorrow, you're selling your one precious life for a price so low. It's heartbreaking. If these words sting, if they twist something deep inside you, it's because they're true. And you know it. Now you have two paths in front of you. You can dismiss this. You can close this video and scroll right back into the noise. Keep chasing illusions. Keep living a life that will eventually leave you with a heart full of regret. Or you can wake up. You can decide that today, right now, is the moment you stop living like a puppet on invisible strings. You stop letting other people and shallow standards decide what should matter to you. You stop running after things you can't take with you when it's all over. You start living a life so real, so deeply yours, that when you look back, you can whisper to yourself with calm pride, "I did not waste it." So, what will you choose? Will you keep sleepwalking through illusions, always waiting for more? Or will you tear off the mask, open your eyes, and actually live? The choice is yours. But remember, you don't have as much time as you think. If these words make your chest tighten, if they strike that chord you've been trying to mute for years, let them. Let that discomfort be the push you need to break free. Hit like if you know it's time to reevaluate everything. If you're done drifting aimlessly, if you're ready to act before it's too late, subscribe now. I'll be here, no matter how hard it is to hear, to remind you of the truth. Number 3. We are stuck in the past and can't let go. You're wasting your present. Your only life overshadows that are already gone. Do you really think that by replaying your mistakes, your losses, and your heartbreaks on an endless loop, you're somehow going to rewrite the past? No, it's gone. The chapter is closed. But you're still here, still alive, still able to move forward. Yet you're letting something already dead drag you down, like an anchor tied to your soul, pulling you into a cold abyss of regret and despair. You need to hear this. Really hear it. The past no longer matters. Do you even see what you're doing to yourself? You sit alone, drowning in old memories, punishing yourself again and again with the same cruel echoes. If only I had done things differently. I don't deserve happiness. I can't move on. But what do these thoughts actually accomplish? Nothing. They're empty ghosts whispering in your mind. Invisible chains that you, and only you, have chosen to lock round yourself. Marcus Aurelius said it so simply, so sharply. Forget everything else. Keep hold of this alone. Remember that. Each of us lives only now. This brief instant. You only have this moment. And yet you're wasting it mourning something you can never change. Dead moments. Dead memories. Yet somehow, you allow them to control your life like a ruthless puppet. Master. Think about that for a second. You're letting a ghost, something that no longer exists, dictate how you move, how you feel, how you breathe. Does that make any sense at all? Meanwhile, while you're stuck on rewind, life doesn't pause. The sun keeps rising. Time keeps ticking. People around you keep growing, keep loving, keep evolving. But you remain trapped, locked behind invisible bars of your own regret, watching the world pass you by from inside your self-built prison. Do you believe that by clinging to your pain, you're somehow being loyal to your past? That by refusing to let go, you're honoring what you lost? You're not. You're not preserving anything. You're only destroying yourself from the inside out. Epictetus once wrote, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." If your past still has the power to hurt you, it's not because the past is strong. It's because you keep handing it the keys to your mind. It's not your past that's harming you. It's you who keep reopening old wounds, who refuse to let them heal. So what will you do? Keep sitting in that dark, cold cell you've built for yourself? Or break those bars and step into the sun? Here's a harsh truth no one wants to say out loud. No one cares how long you've suffered. No one else can go back and fix it for you. No one else can pull you out. You, and only you, hold that power, and nothing will change unless you decide to change it. Imagine this. You're driving a car, but instead of looking at the road ahead, you're glued to the rearview mirror. What do you see? The roads you already left behind, the turns you could have taken, the mistakes that haunt you. Then suddenly, bam, you crash straight into the wall in front of you. That's exactly what you're doing with your life. You're steering yourself straight into pain because you refuse to face forward. Stop right now. Let the past die, truly die, because it no longer serves you. If you've made mistakes, take the lesson, then move on. If you've lost someone or something precious, feel the gratitude for having had it. But don't lose today because you're endlessly mourning yesterday. If someone has hurt you, forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Seneca urged us, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Start living now, not tomorrow, not someday. Now. You can't keep moving forward if your eyes are stuck in the past. You can't open new doors if your hands are gripping old doorknobs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to erase your memories or pretend your pain never existed. I'm telling you, it no longer has power over you, unless you give it permission. You can remember without letting it rule you. You can feel pain without letting it dictate every step you take. So ask yourself this, and ask it seriously. How much longer do you want to live like this? Another year? Another decade? The rest of your life? Or will you finally choose to free yourself today? It's your choice, only yours. You can keep dragging your chains, or you can unlock them and step into the life waiting for you. But if you choose to stay stuck, don't blame life, don't blame fate, don't blame anyone. Because the door to freedom has always been wide open, and you're the one who chose to stay inside. Life doesn't wait for you, and if you hesitate too long, you'll wake up one day to realize you spent your entire life suffering over something that's already gone. So do the brave thing. Let go. Move forward. Do it now. Number 4. We resist change, even though it is inevitable. Life is not static. It is a wild, unstoppable river, a continuous stream of change, washing over everything in its path. Change isn't a glitch in the system. It's the rule. It's the very essence of all existence. Yet we fragile, nostalgic beings keep fighting it. We cling desperately to what feels familiar, to what seems safe, even when those very things are the very chains that keep us small, suffocating the spirit that was meant to expand and evolve. What is the unfiltered truth? The truth is that everything will change. You cannot hold on to your youth forever. You can't freeze a relationship in its happiest moment and keep it there. You can't bottle up peace and save it for later. Yet, we spend our whole lives trying to fight this universal law. We chase after permanence in a world built entirely on impermanence. And in doing so, we trap ourselves in cages built from our own unrealistic expectations. Look at yourself honestly. How many times have you suffered simply because life didn't bend to your will? Because something didn't go exactly the way you pictured it? How many times have you held onto someone already halfway out the door, believing that your grip could force them to stay? How many times have you feared a change that, looking back now, could have opened the door to a far greater joy? If only you had welcomed it sooner. We fear change not because it's inherently bad, but because it strips us of what's comfortable. But familiarity doesn't mean goodness. A man stuck in a soul-sucking job doesn't stay because he loves it. He stays because he fears the unknown. A woman in a toxic relationship doesn't stay because she's fulfilled. She stays because she dreads loneliness more than the pain she endures. We should fear the slow death of our own spirit. Instead, we fear freedom. The problem isn't change itself. The problem is that we refuse to prepare our minds and hearts for it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All that happens is as habitual and familiar as roses in spring and fruit in the summer. Everything comes and goes in its own rhythm. Careers will collapse. People you love may drift away. The world you know today could be unrecognizable tomorrow. So, what can you do instead of fighting reality? You can become stronger. You can become more adaptable. You can train yourself to face every wave without being shattered on the rocks." There's an old story about a samurai warrior. One night, his house burned completely to the ground. Everything he had built, everything he had protected, turned to ash before sunrise. When people came to comfort him, they expected to find him weeping or raging at the heavens. Instead, he stood calmly before the ruins, took a slow breath, and simply said, "Good. Now I can start over." Can you do that? Can you stand in front of your own loss and say, "Good. Now I can begin again"? Or will you let sorrow swallow you forever, chained to what no longer exists? So, what should we do, except that everything will change? Train your mind to be ready to let go. Don't let your attachment to something temporary stop you from growing into who you could become. When one door closes, you have two choices: stand there weeping over the locked handle, or turn around and find another door waiting to be opened. Every single day, ask yourself, what is changing in my life right now? Am I resisting it? Or can I use it to become stronger, braver, more alive? You cannot control the world. You can only control your response to it. Once you understand this at your core, fear will lose its grip. You'll see change for what it really is, not your enemy, but your greatest teacher. Change teaches you resilience. It demands courage. It carves out adaptability. It shows you that nothing is truly lost. Everything is only transforming, shape-shifting into a new form. Remember, you are not some stone statue, lifeless and stiff against the winds of time. You are a river, and a river never stops flowing. Now, congratulations, you've made it halfway through. That alone means something huge. You're actually listening. You're confronting the hard truths that most people spend a lifetime running from. How do you feel right now? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your raw, unfiltered thoughts. Don't stop here. Every part of this video is a vital piece of a bigger puzzle. And what's coming next won't just help you understand these truths. It will show you how to transform that raw awareness into unstoppable action. Keep watching until the very end, because that's where you'll find the answers you've been searching for, even if you didn't know you were searching. Number 5. We try to control things beyond our reach. We don't suffer because the universe is cruel, or because fate has chosen us as its personal punching bag. We suffer because we try to control things that were never meant to be ours. We tie ourselves up in invisible chains, chains made from our expectations, our fears, and the seductive illusion that if we just push harder, love deeper, think smarter, we can bend reality to our will. But that is nothing more than a fantasy, a beautifully crafted lie that slowly drains us, fills us with despair, and quietly steers us away from peace. Think back to the last time you felt gut-wrenching disappointment. Maybe you gave every drop of your heart to a relationship, only to watch them walk away without a backward glance. Maybe you worked yourself to the bone for a promotion, and still watched someone else take the title you thought was yours. Maybe you crafted the perfect plan, calculated every move, and still watched life smash it to pieces in an instant. In those moments, how did you react? Did you blame yourself? Did you feel a wildfire of anger burning in your chest? Did you label yourself a failure, unworthy, broken? Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself honestly, did I ever truly have control over that outcome? Or was I just torturing myself over something that was never in my hands to begin with? Our deepest suffering doesn't come from the world itself. It comes from the story we insist on telling ourselves about it. When we believe that if we just work harder, love more fiercely, or think more cleverly, we can control every single outcome. That belief is what destroys us. We cling to illusions, desperately trying to shape life into our desired sculpture, only to discover that life is fluid, wild, and moves with a mind of its own. We want life to obey our plans. But life doesn't care about our plans. Imagine standing before the endless ocean, trying to trap each crashing wave in your hands. The waves slip through your fingers, vanish before you can even hold them. You grow angry, feel defeated. But think, were those waves ever meant to be held? You can't command the sea, but you can learn to swim. Life is exactly the same. You cannot stop the storms. You cannot predict every wave, but you can master how you move through them, with grace or with resistance. One of life's most dangerous traps is the belief that we can control how others think, feel, or act. We want people to love us back just because we love them. We crave respect just because we work hard. We want fairness because we believe we've earned it. But the truth: no one owes you their love. No one is required to see your efforts, no matter how pure your intentions. The world doesn't follow your rules. It follows its own. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you free yourself from a lifetime of unnecessary pain. Look around at politics, economies, society. Chaos, injustice, corruption, they're everywhere. You can rage, you can protest, you can scream into the void. But ask yourself honestly, can I truly control this? If the answer is no, then ask the next question: what can I control? You cannot change the entire world with a single shout, but you can transform yourself. You can choose how you respond. You can choose how you keep your inner peace in a world that seems intent on tearing it apart. You can choose how you continue to walk forward, unbroken, no matter what storms rage around you. Epictetus said it with piercing clarity: happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Do you want to be truly happy? Then learn this: not everything is yours to hold. Learn to see with sharp, honest eyes what you can change, and what you must learn to release. Only when you master this distinction will you taste real freedom. So, here's the final question you must ask yourself today. Will you keep struggling against the immovable mountains, burning your energy on things forever out of your grasp? Or will you finally let go and redirect that power inward into yourself? You can spend a lifetime fighting against the unchangeable, endlessly exhausted and bitter. Or you can reclaim that energy, turn it into fuel to sharpen your mind, fortify your spirit, and build a stronger, wiser, more peaceful self. The choice is yours, and only yours. And if there's one truth you carry away from all of this, let it be this: you cannot control the world. You cannot bend people or fate to your will, but you can always control yourself. And in the end, that is the only thing that truly matters. Number 6. We fear death, but not a meaningless life. This might be humanity's greatest and strangest paradox. We dread death. We avoid even thinking about it. We whisper its name like it's some forbidden curse. Yet, at the same time, we move through life as if our days are an infinite currency, freely spent on anything and everything without thought. We shy away from contemplating death. Yet we have no problem living a dull, colorless, purposeless existence. But if death truly is the ultimate tragedy, isn't a wasted life even worse? The problem isn't that we lack time. The tragedy is that we waste the precious time we do have, tossing it away like loose change. Take a moment. Think about your last 24 hours. Did you do something that truly mattered to your soul? Or did you drown in shallow conversations, scroll endlessly through social media, lose yourself in trivial anxieties? Most people drift through life as if they have an unlimited supply of tomorrows. But when death finally knocks, they panic, realizing too late that they never actually lived. Why don't we fear a meaningless life? Because it's easy. Living without purpose demands nothing. You just follow the crowd, tick the boxes society hands you, avoid discomfort, and let yourself slowly rot in safety. but living a meaningful life, that demands courage. Raw, relentless courage. It forces you to ask the terrifying questions. What truly sets my soul on fire? What am I willing to risk to feel truly alive? It demands that you reject empty pursuits, stand alone if necessary, and run toward what ignites your spirit, even if it means disappointing everyone else. Marcus Aurelius cut right to the bone. It's not death that a man should fear, but rather, he should fear never beginning to live. The brutal truth: most people don't live. They merely exist. They wake up, drag themselves to work, eat, consume entertainment to numb their dissatisfaction, then sleep, only to repeat it all the next day. They never stop to ask, what makes my heart beat faster? What would make me leap out of bed in the morning, hungry for life? They fear failure, judgment, and risk so much that they willingly settle for mediocrity, choosing to stay small rather than step into the unknown. But imagine this: if tomorrow was guaranteed to be your last day on Earth, what would you do differently? Would you still care about what strangers think? Would you still hesitate to pursue that crazy dream? Or would you finally throw yourself into the wild beauty of life with every ounce of passion you've buried for years? Why wait until you're staring death in the face to finally live? There's a story about a man who slaved away at his job for 40 years, saving every penny, always saying, one day, I'll really start living. One day, I'll travel, explore, love deeply. He sacrificed his youth, traded every present moment for some distant, shimmering future. But when retirement finally came, he realized his health was gone, his loved ones had drifted away, and time, that silent thief, had never waited for him. He didn't truly die at 70. He died at 30, the moment he stopped living and started merely existing. Are you sure, absolutely sure, that you're not falling into the same deadly trap? Are you waiting for someday to finally do what truly matters? How many dreams have you buried beneath the heavy soil of fear and endless procrastination? How many things have you whispered to yourself that you'd do one day, but still haven't even started? The most important question in your life isn't when will I die? It's am I truly living right now? Because while death is inevitable and waits for us all, a meaningless life is something you choose every single day. None of us know how many sunrises we have left. Maybe you have 50 years ahead. Maybe you only have 50 days. But the real point isn't how much time you have. It's what you do with the time you've been given. You can keep living like a machine, stuck in endless loops, always waiting for that better day that never comes. Or you can decide, right now, in this exact breath, to stop delaying, to stop hiding behind fear, to stop chasing empty things that will never fill you up inside. Find what sets your soul on fire. Maybe it's a passion project, a purpose-driven career, a mission that terrifies and excites you, or simply the way you pour your love and energy into the people around you. When death finally comes knocking at your door, it won't count the years you merely existed. It will count the ripples you created, the real moments, the lives you touched, the love you shared. Do you want to leave this world carrying a backpack full of regrets about all the chances you didn't take? Or do you want to leave it in peace, knowing you squeezed every last drop out of this wild, short ride? That decision is not some distant future milestone. It's in your hands right now, at this moment. If you choose to truly live rather than just float through existence, type it below. Truly live. Because in the end, no one will remember the number of candles on your last birthday cake. They will remember the fire in your eyes, the courage in your actions, the way you made them feel alive simply by being you. Number 7. We avoid silence and are afraid to face ourselves. Picture this. You're sitting alone in an empty room. No phone, no music, no TV, no one to text, just you and silence. How does that feel? Do you feel an itch crawling up your spine, a sudden restlessness, an urge to escape? If so, you're not alone, and you might be suffering from one of the most dangerous afflictions of our time, the fear of facing yourself. The modern world is designed to drown us in noise. From the second you open your eyes in the morning, your phone lights up with endless notifications. You step outside into a sea of honking horns, chatter, and chaos. While working, you put on headphones, music, podcasts, anything to keep your mind busy. At night, you vanish into an endless scroll of videos, mindlessly numbing your mind, not realizing that all of it is a frantic escape from one single thing, yourself. But why are we so terrified of silence? Because in the silence, there's nowhere left to hide. All the thoughts you've been dodging rush in like a flood. Your fears, your insecurities, your regrets, all the questions you've buried under endless distractions. In that stillness, you can no longer cover them with noise. And that realization, it terrifies us more than almost anything else. Marcus Aurelius saw this centuries ago. He wrote, "People try to get away from it all, to the country, to the beach, to the mountains. You always wish that you could too, but you can get away from it any time you like, by going within. We think we can escape loneliness by flooding our lives with endless noise. But the truth is, no matter how far you run, no matter how loud your life becomes, you carry yourself everywhere. There's no escaping the person staring back at you in the mirror." A striking real-life experiment in 2014 showed this clearly. A group of psychologists placed participants in a completely empty room. No phone, no distractions, no conversation, nothing to do. Just 15 minutes alone with their thoughts. The result? Most participants felt extreme discomfort, almost like they were suffocating. Even more shocking, some chose to give themselves mild electric shocks rather than sit quietly and confront their own minds. Silence. That's how far people will go to avoid facing the mirror of their own minds. But look closely at history's greatest thinkers. Friedrich Nietzsche spent countless afternoons walking alone, letting his mind wander without boundaries. It was in that solitude that his deepest, most disruptive philosophies were born. Leonardo da Vinci, the genius, who saw connections across art, science, and engineering, devoted hours to silent observation, watching the world breathe and unraveling mysteries no one else dared to see. Silence isn't an empty void. It's a rich, hidden garden where creativity takes root and true wisdom blossoms. So, how do you start? Begin by challenging yourself. Set aside at least 10 minutes every single day to just sit in silence. No phone, no background music, no notifications. Just you, raw and unfiltered. If it feels uncomfortable, don't run. Stay. Watch. Observe what rises inside you. This isn't a battle you have to win. It's a journey towards self-awareness. Journaling is another powerful tool. Marcus Aurelius wrote meditations not to impress others, but as a raw, honest conversation with himself. Do the same. Write down your fears, your frustrations, your quiet hopes. Don't write to be read. Write to finally see yourself. And finally, learn to actually enjoy your own company. Instead of filling every empty space with people or noise, take a solo walk. Have a quiet coffee alone. Sit on a park bench with no agenda. Let your mind drift without interruption. There's a profound beauty in silence. It's the place where you finally meet your truest self. No masks, no noise, no performances. When you stop running, you'll realize silence isn't a cold, empty abyss. It's a doorway, a hidden gate into a freedom you've been craving. Your whole life. So pause right now. Close your eyes. Take one deep, honest breath. What rises within you? We've just walked together through 7 hard, sometimes painful truths. Truths that might have stung, but truths you needed to hear. Life doesn't pause while you sort yourself out. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Time keeps moving, relentlessly, unforgivingly, and every moment you spend stuck in regret, fear, or resistance to reality, that's a moment you'll never get back. But here's the good news. You still have a choice. You can keep living exactly as you have, on autopilot, in quiet pain. Or you can choose to let go, to accept, to move forward with a mind that's sharper, a heart that's lighter, and a spirit that's unbreakable. Stoicism doesn't ask you to feel nothing. It doesn't ask you to become a robot. It asks you to master yourself, to live intentionally, to stand tall, to rise above everything you cannot control. If this video reached you, even just a small part, hit that like button so I know you're here, walking this path with me. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell your story, because somewhere out there, someone is waiting to hear exactly what you have to say. And if you know someone stuck in these same silent battles, send them this video. You might be the reason they finally wake up. Most importantly, subscribe to Stoic Capsule. There's so much more coming your way. Deeper truths, raw challenges, and powerful reminders to keep you moving forward. Thank you for being here. Now, step back into the world stronger, clearer, and more alive than ever. Stay grounded, stay powerful, stay stoic.